Peter Schiff won a debate against Anthony Scaramucci saying that gold is better than Bitcoin, but I think we all know better. Warren Buffett's proprietary indicator is screaming for a stock crash or a correction. I'm going to take a look at that and all of the news driving markets today, as well as the top 10 cryptocurrencies by market cap in a lightning round of charting. You do not want to miss this. Let's go.
Let's go.
What is up, everybody? I'm Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel and give a strong pound on that like button. I don't know what you're supposed to do. I just know that I don't want you to smash it. Just pound it. Pound that like button. So, guys, sorry, we're about 5 minutes late today starting the live stream. We had a bit of technical difficulties this morning, but here we are and rolling. I want to point out, of course, that we're doing a $5,000 giveaway once we hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. We are getting pretty close. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, hit the link right down below in the description. You can check out everything we got going on there. $5,000 of my money, 10 prizes in Bitcoin and Ethereum, $500 each. Go get my sweet coins, people. So tons of news today, and I want to take a look at a lot of charts. So we're going to dive right in, okay? As you can see here, we've got coin market cap. I'm excluding stable coins, of course. So we're going to do the top 10 coins that are not flat like stable coins. You got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Binance Coin, XRP, Doge, Polkadot, Solana, Uni, and Luna. So yes, we did the top 13, but 3 of those are stable coins. Let's dive right in. I'm going to do Bitcoin and USDT or USD pairs very fast. First of all, Bitcoin, as you can see, I talked about yesterday, we wanted to see the center line here of the B bands, this EQ right here, hold a support. For now, that is happening. The last candle closed right on it. This one closed slightly above and has popped up. We're going to be watching that very closely as the bands tighten. We know that the longer the bands stay tight, like here and here and here, that we're going to see some volatility. We obviously want to see that volatility with a break to the upside. As you can see here on the daily chart, really not that much happening. This is what's keeping people in a panic, right? A small correction from 50,000 to 46. When you zoom out, I mean, this is just an uptrend, right? With a little bit of retracement, nothing to panic about here. I think that that's pretty clear. Still, this 42K region has never been retested as support. Nobody would be surprised if that does happen. But right now, doesn't seem like it's necessary. As I've pointed out countless times here, RSI was overbought, had a number of bear divs. We had one here, but we also had hidden bullish divergence from here to here, right? We had hidden the bullish divergence from here to here, right? Lower lows on RSI with higher lows on price. And now we have potentially another bear div followed by hidden bullish divergence. I've been talking about this for days. We need to see continued upside on price throughout the day and a very clear elbow up on RSI right here, showing that, yes, we in fact have a confirmation. It would not be confirmed if this continues down or it lines up flat. That's why we have a question mark here. But a hidden bull div is a sign of continuation to the upside, meaning that the bear div is effectively canceled. So I will be watching for that. Here on the 4-hour chart, nothing's really changed. We have this new sort of descending resistance here, 1, 2, 3 touches, right? So that's a confirmed resistance line, and we're still bouncing out of this demand. There were tons of wicks here, right? Look at these crazy candles, a lot of indecision. This candle cleared out basically all of that, showing that all of that selling was no longer there. It was exhausted. Sellers were no longer selling, and price was able to push. So that's a pretty good sign that this is going to head to the upside, but we still need to wait and see. I would probably say either above 48,190 or above this line is where we can start to feel somewhat confident once again that things are going to reverse to the upside. Pound that like button. Ethereum, Bitcoin, we have a descending wedge right here after a move up right into support this demand. And you can see that the EQ of this sort of demand zone is holding. Nothing to see here. I'd be waiting for a break of this line up top, but this is a confirmed descending wedge, up, down, alternating touches. That should break to the top and target the top of that wedge. If that happens, obviously, we're well above the EQ of the range and should be targeting the top. Ethereum on the USD pair, nothing to see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 retests as support of the range highs after the drop. This was the trading range it was in, accumulating for months. It has tested it 6 times as support. This time it front ran so far. We have potential tweezer bottoms here on the daily. I believe we also had those on the Bitcoin chart. That's worth noting. I didn't mention that before. But ultimately, you want to see it hold 3,000. That's the top of this range, 2,999.41. And the real trade now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches, unable to break 3,330. You want to get above that and then hope that we continue to rise. The next coin by market cap, unbelievably, number 3 still holding is ADA. And man, I've been posting these charts. This is exactly what was supposed to happen, right? We had a break of the range, retest, form this local resistance, break of that, retest, heading up. This looks very good right now for ADA. Not much to dislike. We can drill in on the 4-hour chart, probably draw a line here. You can see that that's breaking and being retested as support. ADA looks great on the Bitcoin pair. ADA on USDT, look what I drew, look what happened, right? We had the break above, but neither of those managed to break it. This was based on clearing it. So we cleared it, finally got a break of that resistance. That was the all-time high at 247, by the way. Ultimately made a high of almost $3. Traced back. This is what we drew. Perfect retest. I keep talking about this. Solana, Luna, we'll see them. ADA, all these coins. What you want to see, break of the all-time high, retest as support, and then move back into price discovery. Now it should be sky the limit for ADA USD. And we saw the Alonzo hard fork coming September 12th. Got plenty of time there. Now looking at BNB Bitcoin, we had this trade. It already hit its target. This was the double bottom. This should be a bottom in general. Broke the descending blue resistance and now is also flipping this resistance to support, it would appear, right here at about 0.010118. That should target the next levels. But just the fact that it's above the EQ, look how it popped off the EQ with this major candle right here a few days ago. This should be heading to the top of the range. BNB on the USD pair, listen, it's doing exactly what we talked about. Same kind of idea. These were all trades I posted. Here, entry. Here at this EQ, entry. Entry at the top of the red range and now continuing up. We would expect a lot of resistance here between 570 and 615, but ultimately this should be returning back up to 691. We've flipped every single level of resistance to support and continued to consolidate. No reason to believe that it will drop now. Anything is possible. It could absolutely drop right now, depending on what Bitcoin does, but this is perfect price movement, just continuing to climb the stairs upward. Next, XRP on the Bitcoin pair, not much to see here. This is a daily chart. We have this clear resistance right here. Nice to see it getting back above this 0.0002340 level, but ultimately you want to see it breaking this line, and then you can start talking about this as the next target right at 0.402913. XRP on the USD pair. Had this sort of breakout, fake out that was a bit concerning, right? It broke out, looked very bullish, came back, but still hovering around that $1.10, which is the area we want to see hold. That's a really key support, and presently price is above that. Even though it dropped below a little bit, you can still say, hey, it's retesting this descending line of support, and it's retesting this horizontal line of support. If it holds 110, we should expect price to be heading up to the 150 to 170 region, ultimately almost $2. After that, we can figure it out. Next coin, Doge, BTC. Nobody in the world apparently trades Doge against BTC anymore, so it doesn't really matter. But for now, not much to see here. Honestly, this looks kind of crappy. Doing very little, still dropping against Bitcoin. I guess you could say that we probably have a bit of support in this area if it continues to drop, and that would be a good area to look at, 524. Still astounding to me to see these prices because I remember trading Doge from 10 sats and 15 sats up to 150 to 200 and repeating that cycle. Well, we're way beyond that now. Doge USDT, like I said, we had this sort of pennant here, symmetrical triangle. There was no clear flagpole, so I called it a symmetrical triangle. And I said, listen, if this was going to break up, it should have done it between 60 and 70% of the pattern. The closer you get to the apex here, the less likely it is to be a very clear and definitive pattern. Well, we had a clear breakdown of that pattern and moved down. Listen, we're already down to the bottom of it. We could probably draw a line here and call it resistance at the moment, right? That's a very clear resistance right there. Get back above that. I mean, this line is, we can eliminate that for the moment. Not much to see here, but as I said, you know, when you have these pennants, if you call them a bull pennant, they usually drop down if they break support and form a wedge or a flag. And that's what we now have here. So let's go ahead. We can delete this. We now have a bullish descending wedge. It's not parallel, so we can't call it a flag or a channel, but we have a descending wedge, which when it eventually breaks out to the upside should target 35 cents. Now, listen, this could trickle down, hit support a few more times. Doesn't mean it's going up right now, but eventually the move is to buy a break of this, ideally a retest as support and target that area. You can start looking for higher targets if it flips 35 cents. DOT. Now, listen, I had this circled and we almost got there. This was the line I was talking about. Kind of the same idea, although this is not all-time high, right? But this was a very key resistance. It was broken on a very strong candle, massive volume all through this area and never retested as support. That's the idea we're looking for. This might have just gotten front run. It may never get down here, but man, that was close. 496 up to 503, really close. This could be heading back up. Hard to tell. It does look like it had kind of topped a little bit, but we do have now a potential break of this resistance retest at support. I think that alts are looking pretty decent right now. USDT, this was the trade around $19. We had it and the target was 28 bucks. That's exactly where it was rejected. That was something that I posted in the newsletter as a trade. You can always check out the newsletter down below. Now at this point, we have a very strong resistance between 28 and 31. I would really want to get kind of above that area right now. But once again, tweezer bottoms potentially on the daily on a lot of these altcoin pairs. That's when you have these tiny little wicks down that are to an equal low, and then the price goes up. The higher this closes, the more bullish it becomes. It would be amazing to see it close bullish engulfing. Then I would expect us to start flipping these levels and heading back up. Again, these USDT pairs are largely dependent on what Bitcoin does. Solana BTC, I posted this in the newsletter yesterday. Yet again, another almost opportunity, but this one did break and retest already. The first retest is the strongest. All-time high, retest as support, heading into price discovery. Well, I was saying buy the dip yesterday. It was very clear. Maybe you get it back down at this area on the Bitcoin pair, but unlikely. Continued to head up. This was clear bullish consolidation, move up at resistance. So probably if you're trading it at this point on the Bitcoin pair, you want to get above and buy that as support. Solana USDT, same idea posted yesterday, just did not come back down. $58 has never been retested as support. That was the previous all-time high, 58.38 to be exact. This does not look like it wants to stop. This looks like it just wants to keep going. Clearly just buy the dips on Solana. Uniswap BTC. Kind of looks like that XRP chart a little bit, but never really lost the support in the same way. Descending line, breakout, retest, yikes, right? Doesn't always work. Came back down much lower, but it is testing a key area here as support. This whole area really could be drawn, right? You have all this price action through here at these lows, these highs. You could even, take it up to, like I said, you could take it to here. That would be an area here. So let's consider this whole thing a zone, but it's bouncing off of an area of support. Again, tweezer bottoms on the Bitcoin and maybe retesting this. We want to see volume come in and pop up, and then you have the lines drawn as targets. Uniswap USDT, right? Also at support, tweezer bottoms. You can see they all look relatively the same. We had this huge breakout here, clear double bottom that was broken here, never retested unless you count this. I guess actually that closed above and counted. So we have much higher targets. I want to see a break of this descending line before I get in and get excited. And finally, Luna, once again, this actually was never retested here as the all-time high, 0.003970. But this is in price discovery. Dips are clearly for buying on Luna. And this was a setup that I had just shared. It's kind of the same idea. Once again, let's look at it first on the daily here. Right, you can see that was the all-time high there, $22.40. So when we zoom into the 4-hour, we had that area actually retested here as support broken and heading into price discovery. Then we formed this little bull flag, and depending on your bias and where you would personally measure the flagpole, these would be your 3 targets. It looks like we've retested and are heading back up to those. That was a mouthful. Let's move on to the news. Bitcoin eyes 200-day moving average support as 2 billion options expiration nears. Yeah, that's I actually don't even have that chart open right now with the 200, but we traded around the 200 for weeks. It's a few $100s down below, maybe 1,000 at this point. I'm not sure it's going to get tested. And options are expiring, I think, on Deribit in about 10 minutes. So talking about max pain at 44,000 is a bit misleading at this point. Yes, CME closes later in the day, 4 p.m. in London time. And we have other various ones, but Deribit is by far the largest Bitcoin futures exchange. And that will be closing, I believe, in 10 minutes. It's a meme to say it goes to max pain. It happened like one time. Now everybody talks about it as something that's likely to happen, but it really doesn't. Also, notably here, you can see very few options are looking to expire today. Really very low volume relative to what we've seen. 2 billion, 42,500 contracts. We know that the summer was very slow, so no surprises there. And as we dig down into this, they say, which often does happen, that after the expiration, we tend to see a trend of price suppression ending and prices rising. So assuming that we have not hit the max pain point, we have not, right? We're still at 47,457. Didn't even see a dip today. You expect generally volatility at the close, so we'll be watching to see what happens there. Warren Buffett's favorite market indicator hits 205%, signaling stocks are way too expensive and a crash may be coming. No shit, Sherlock. Does anybody think that stocks are not overpriced when you look at the rest of the economy? Right? I mean, come on. Warren Buffett's preferred market gauge hits 205%, signaling stocks are heavily overvalued. The Buffett indicator compares the stock market's valuation to the size of the economy. This is very, very obvious indicator. A lot of people use it. This is a very strong warning signal. If you want an idea of how it works, the Buffett indicator takes a combined market cap of all publicly traded U.S. stocks and divides it by the latest quarterly figure for gross domestic product. It serves as a rough gauge of the stock market's valuation relative to the size of the economy. In other words, the economy ain't big enough for stocks to be this high. It's completely broken and it's all artificially inflated. A lot of people have been screaming for a correction. The problem is, you know a crash is coming, but you never know when. And until then, stocks will probably just continue to go up as they print more money. Peter Schiff wins debate over whether gold is a better store of value. He debated Anthony Scaramucci, who we all love. I did not get a chance to watch the debate, so it's hard for me to speak directly to it. But it's interesting, when they polled the audience at the beginning, 38% favored gold, 26% Bitcoin, and 35% undecided. So it was already leaning towards gold, but at the end, it was 51% gold, 32% Bitcoin, and 17% undecided. Listen, there are great arguments for gold. We love to rag on Peter Schiff and gold bugs, but there's a reason that gold has been a store of value for 5,000 years. It cannot be destroyed. It's just reworked. It's the only metal that's really like that holds its value and does not get destroyed over time. But we all know the reasons that Bitcoin is superior as well. Obviously, it's easier to transport. It's mathematically scarce. The endless list, I'm not going to go into it, but it is important to at least recognize that there are plenty of people out there who see gold 5,000 years later as a great store of value, and it probably is. Either way, we all know Bitcoin is much better than gold. The 15 most expensive NFTs ever sold, right? This is really, really cool little article. We're just going to go briefly through them, right? We all know about the $69.3 million sale of Beeple. That was number one. Then we get a whole list of punks, 11.8 million. That was the one with the mask. 7.56 million, 7.51 million. Unbelievable. Crossroads. I love this. You guys, I can play it. You won't hear the sound, but this is a Beeple. I absolutely love this one. The little emojis start popping up. Clown emoji, right? Really cool. Number 6, another Beeple. There's the one that Justin Sun bought for $6 million. Number 7, a punk. Number 8, just the World Wide Web source code. What? $5.43 million. That to me is a JPEG, not art. I'm sorry. CryptoPunk number 9, 5.3. And of course, Stay Free, the Edward Snowden. Bottom line, dude, these things are absolutely flying, but it's clear that the 69.3 million was a bit of an aberration, about 6 times slightly more than the next highest NFT sale. Cuba's government looking to recognize Bitcoin and crypto for payments. Report. Sweet, I think. El Salvador obviously about to put their motion into law about Bitcoin becoming legal tender, about to airdrop $30 worth of Bitcoin on every citizen. Well, a lot of countries are seeing what's happening there, watching very closely and looking to do the same. Obviously, in a country like El Salvador with massive percentage of GDP being remittances, this is a very attractive, very similar idea in Cuba. And obviously, Cuba is heavily sanctioned. This is the kind of place where Bitcoin, whether you like it or not, would be of a great benefit. And I've said this before. Bitcoin doesn't care about politics. Bitcoin doesn't care about religion. Bitcoin doesn't care about your country. Bitcoin's going to exist and everybody's going to use it in the manner that they see fit. That's going to mean a lot of authoritarian or socialist or communist governments using it to avoid sanctions, but they are looking into it as a payment solution. Obviously good for them since they have problems with inflation and potentially it could become legal tender. We'll be watching very closely what happens in Cuba. Billionaire Swiss luxury hotel to accept crypto payments. 5-star Shady Andermatt will accept Bitcoin and Ethereum. Switzerland widened the use of cryptocurrencies in past years. Dude, crypto's taking over in Switzerland. There's an entire valley there that's basically a crypto city, right? And now we're seeing that billionaire hotels are starting to accept it. This is not a huge story. Let's be honest. It's just another example of potential mainstream adoption. Will be interesting to see how many rich people who stay here actually use their crypto. Coinbase appoints Facebook vet as chief marketing officer. Listen, Kate Roche Roche or Roosh, I don't know. Kate Roche has joined the team. She's most recently served as Facebook's global head of brand and product marketing. I mean, she did Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, Facebook app. Clearly, Coinbase is taking their marketing extremely seriously. This is another reason to be bullish on Coinbase stock, whether you like the company or not. I'm not a huge fan of the company. I don't use the product. I think this is one of the greatest investment opportunities you'll ever have for the next 10, 20, 30 years. I think Coinbase will be one of the 5 or 10 biggest companies in the world. And finally, Cramer's lightning round. Up to 5% of your portfolio should be in crypto. Here's what he said. I think Coinbase is inexpensive, talking about the stock. I don't really care for management because I think they let out a lot of stock when they started. I was against that. They should have been buyers, not sellers. That's such crap, by the way. A direct listing requires them to list shares to sell, or there's no direct listing and no shares to sell. I can't believe people still don't understand this, including Jim Cramer. I think the listing went very, very poorly. I think the company is the natural repository of crypto. I will also say this, though. I own Ethereum directly. I think you should have up to 5% of your portfolio in crypto. I'm a believer in crypto. Wow. I mean, this guy owned a lot of Bitcoin, sold a lot, and now he's just talking about Ethereum. Really interesting. I think that that's going to be a general trend. But the point here being that even Jim Cramer, one of the old school Wall Street guys, saying 5% of your net worth should be in the cryptos, guys. That is basically all I got for you today. I know that was a mouthful. I didn't even know I could talk that fast. My mouth is dry. I'm having problems here even talking. Once again, guys, I have a lot going down in the description. I have the newsletter, which you can sign up for, the $5,000 giveaway, Compass Mining. So yeah, down there you can check them out. I've been mining, and at noon today, I'm going to be doing a live stream with Compass Mining on their channel with Lynn Alden talking about my experiences. And then at 2 p.m. today, or excuse me, that's wrong. At 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I forgot that we've adjusted our times. I will be doing Bullish on Bitcoin, my weekly show with the chart guys as guests. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Just too much of me, I know, guys. But really, you ask why I make so much content. I want mainstream adoption. I want more people. And every new person that checks out these videos and watches them is one more person that we can get on our team, trying to reach mainstream adoption for Bitcoin and crypto. Until later, guys, peace.
Let's go.